With the greatest enthusiasm, I introduce you to the next governor of Connecticut, Ned Lamont.
Great, man. Thank you so much. Neither rain, nor sleet, nor gloom of day, you guys deliver. Ed, I so much look forward to serving with you, to my favorite fellow teacher, Carol, to Pedro. My coffee's getting a little bit better. And of course, a special, special thanks to my daughter, Lindsay. Lindsay, you know your dad all too well. And look, to a lot of friends here, friends who were here 4 years ago, right here at the old State House, friends who had the courage and the independence to stand up. We stood up to the political establishment. We stood up to the conventional wisdom, and we made a difference. I'm here to ask you to stand up again. Yes, Connecticut, we do have an economic crisis, but I'm more worried, Connecticut, that we have a crisis of confidence. I need you to stand up to those pessimists who say Connecticut's best days are behind us. They are wrong. I also need you to stand up to those who say, oh, we'll skate through this economic recession, and then we'll be back to business as usual. And they are wrong. I need you to stand up for a Connecticut that gets out of its defensive crouch, gets back on offense, starts investing in the future again, help businesses expand, start putting people back to work, get Connecticut back to work. That's how we get Connecticut going again. That's how we get Connecticut growing again. No more exploring. My name is Ned Lamont, and I am running to be governor of the great state of Connecticut. I'm running as a dad. As you know, Andy and I, we have 3 kids, Teddy, Lindsay, and Emily. You know, and as Ed said, more than any other state, our young graduates are leaving. They're leaving Connecticut for greener pastures. And my kids are going to make their own paths in life. But as a governor, I want to make sure that this is a state with vibrant cities and great job opportunities, a place where all of our kids can always call home. I'm also running as a guy that used to be a volunteer teacher at Harding High School in Bridgeport, where too many of those kids used to wonder out loud whether they had a future at all. And I taught with some amazing teachers who encouraged and inspired these kids every day. And as your governor, I'm going to be back there at Harding. I'm going to be back there at those schools. I'm going to remind those kids every day that you're going to be great players on Team Connecticut. I'm also going to remind those kids they got to fulfill their side of the bargain. Study hard, graduate, and we'll do our part as well. I'm also running as a guy who I think, like many of you, started out in local government. I was a selectman, Board of Finance, where the rubber meets the road, you know, working with constituents every day, making the government work for the people again, something we got to remember here in Hartford every day. And I'm running as a guy who started up a business about 25 years ago, borrowed some money from the local bank, hung out my shingle at one of those rental offices there for $500 a month. All of us would-be entrepreneurs in a row with $1 and a dream, and a great administrative assistant named Olivia. And Olivia used to cover for us, give us that big company feel. Hello, Lamont Digital, how can I help you? Oh, you'd like to talk to the director of purchasing. Well, she's busy right now. Oh, I know. Maybe I can get you into the assistant director of purchasing. His name is Ned. I was the assistant director of purchasing. I was chief cook. I was bottle washer. That's how businesses begin in this state. That's how jobs are created in this state. We took on the cable TV utilities. We beat them at their own game. We beat them with better technology, a better business model, better customer service. That's how we won, and that's how Connecticut starts winning again. I learned a couple of things in business that I think are relevant. If I did business the same way today as I did 25 years ago, my competition would have put me out of business several times over. And here, the state of Connecticut, we're doing business pretty much the same old way. Same old technology, same old business model. That's not serving our people, and it's costing the taxpayers a fortune. That's going to change. And the other thing I learned hire good people, treat them with respect. That's how you get the best out of an organization. We're going to hire the very best commissioners, folks from in government, outside of government, Republicans, Democrats, strong executives, innovative executives who will make our departments work again. I'll tell you something else. I got a lot of my best ideas from the people in the field, people in the front lines, people dealing with our customers every day. And too often in this state, we disrespect our state workers. I'm going to make sure that our workers the best ideas we're getting from the folks in the line. We're going to make sure our state workers have a place at the table, treated with respect, empowered. That's how we get this state back on track. All right, let's cut to the chase. Yes, we have a spending problem in this state, and I will do everything I can to bring down the high cost of government. But I've learned something else. You can't cut your way to heaven, and we're not going to balance the budget on the backs of my kids from Harding High. And we do have a revenue problem. But it's a revenue problem that's not going to be solved with more taxes. It's a revenue problem that's going to be solved with more taxpayers. Expand the economic pie, more job creation, more opportunity. I come here to Hartford, I come here to these budget debates, I see these politicians, oh, the economic pie is getting smaller, we're going to have to learn how to divide it up, a smaller piece here, a smaller piece there. I have devoted my life to expanding the economic pie, making it grow with better opportunities for everybody. That's what we have to do here in Connecticut.